What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about what in God's name has been happening over there with Hollywood. You had the writer's strike, and now obviously you have the actors going on strike. What that means, my opinions of it. Some of the people that are kind of talking that certainly don't sound very, very smart when they are talking. Hollywood, maybe not quite literally, like when the WB, land or, filming set was like on fire, and it's like, oh, that's maybe a fun Oppenheimer joke, but maybe it wasn't a joke. Hollywood is kind of on fire right now. I can't pretend, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be flat out honest throughout this entire video, as I would hope you would expect from me. I don't care as much as you might think I do. Now, I do enjoy television. I do enjoy movies. I've found myself, as the years have gone on, obviously going much, much more towards games. I've always been a gamer. I've always been more leaning gaming, I guess, heavy. But over the last couple years, it's really taken, I guess, a life of its own. And, in terms of new movies that I'll go see, there really aren't all that many of them. And ultimately, like, when I'm not, I guess, a part of the situation, which clearly I'm not, and none of us are, for me, it's like I can take a couple steps back, say, you know what, let them destroy each other, let Hollywood literally burn. I have said in the past, I think Hollywood needs a very hard reset, and if this is what's going to do it, I think this is the first time they've both had a strike together in 60 plus years. So if there was ever a time to kind of redo this thing, it would be right now. Maybe it is right now. I have gotten tired of most of it. And, when it comes to the acting, maybe that's a little bit different than the writing. What I said when the writers went on strike was, I feel bad for, I guess, select of them. I understand what they're going for. I understand what they're saying in terms of AI writing. And, if you do streaming stuff and residuals, it's just not there. People should be paid what they're worth. And when times change, people deserve to kind of match that. Now, writers, I highly doubt, make as much money as your, let's say, average actor. You can say, I'm sure, the same thing with actors as you can with writers, where, well, I guess in both ways, where there probably are struggling actors. I mean, you think of so many movies and so many plots, but also just something that actually happens. People move out to Hollywood to try to make it big, right? Whether it is as an actor or a director or a writer. And then, some make it, very few. Some are kind of, mid-tier. They do fine. They live, and they probably do better than most of us. And then you have the lower tier that obviously struggle to survive, like maybe some average Joes around the world struggle to survive. Now, I will say I can relate to those people, and that's, I don't know, me getting older, me still being removed from that kind of stuff. I cannot pretend to care for the big Hollywood actors, the Oppenheimer group walking off set. And, I haven't seen that movie. I hope it's really good. I'm sure eventually I'll see it. But right there, see, I don't really care all that much. I don't care if the Tom Cruises of the world or these other people don't work for, say, a year. I'm sure they're going to be fine. Again, I do understand there's the mid-tier or the lower tier that they actually would have issues. And some of the, again, with the writers stuff, you had the demands on both sides. Some of the stuff that's now coming out with the actors is equally terrible. I would say the whole AI thing with the writing scares me probably more than some of the acting thing. However, the idea that, and one of the big things going around, is that one of the proposals was to take a background actor, right? So these people would make whatever that minimum wage, the SAG minimum wage or whatever, and you'd pay them one day, and then you would scan their face, whatever, and you'd basically own that background forever. So when you think of movies and you think of the future, say 5-10 years, that person can be a background, individual in any film. You just put them in, and you don't have to pay that person. You don't have to pay for that day, say. If you need 500 extras, well, just give it 3-4 years, scan a bunch of background people, and just reuse them. That stuff is scary. That stuff is definitely scary, and that's part of that whole AI kind of revolution that I am very strictly against. So stuff like that, I would definitely say you need to fix. I've seen some of the stuff with residuals. I can't pretend like I know how it works or how people get residuals. I know that if you make it big, it seems like you get pretty good residuals. If you were kind of a small time part in something, you're going to get smaller ones. But obviously streaming makes it a whole lot messier. I will say this though, okay? Obviously, we've had some executives that have said some pretty stupid stuff, right? But I will say, just like I said with the writers, this is the wrong time. This is the wrong time for kind of everybody. And in that way, I would maybe agree with the executives, but I have a soul and a heart unlike them, right? When they say, oh, this is really inconvenient to us because we just came out of you know what, around the world, and we're trying to get back on our feet. See, when you make like $20+ million a year and you're supposed to run companies and all that stuff, like I don't really care what you say. You kind of just seem evil whenever you say anything like that, right? But especially if you make a lot of money. But I will say, and I said this for the writers, in terms of like Hollywood's success rate, not doing so great. Actors have become, because of probably social media, to be honest with you, actors have become probably more unlikable than ever before. I can say for a fact that I find less of them appealing or respectable than I ever have in my entire life, okay? Now, again, that's just me, but with the writing thing, I had said, look, you want to say how important you are to productions, right? You want to say how much writing impacts it, and it does. I would say writing maybe impacts it more than like the people on screen, because you need the writing to actually, you need to say things or whatever, right? But like a lot of things are garbage. A lot of things. Most of Hollywood is trash. Most of Hollywood is not good. Also, most of Hollywood, you get like box office bombs. Movies aren't making, like, yes, there's some, but most really aren't. Or I guess if you consider like the bigger ones, but just generally from these bigger things, or you look at streaming and TV shows, okay, you want these residuals and these things to change for streaming. I get that, and I would side with them, with the writers, with the actors. But I do, and I've always wondered this, and we don't really know, do they actually make any money? Like, how does the money stuff work with streaming? They never say the numbers. So all these people that say, well, they never tell us how many people watch the show. Well, what if it's like no one? What if nobody watches the show? What if your show, they could prove analytically, gets no new subscribers to their service? So you made them no money. The actors made them no money. The writers made them no money, right? So how do you figure that? So again, like, I know maybe I'm rambling, going back and forth. I generally want people to be like owed their worth. I think there's a lot of people that have kind of overstayed their welcome in Hollywood, whether it be actors, whether it be directors, whether it be writers. So it's hard to fully side with them. I can't say I don't take some joy in watching things kind of fall apart and burn, but I do, again, like the AI stuff, I do absolutely agree with, the side that doesn't really want it. I don't really want it either. But I do, in terms of this hard reset that Hollywood kind of needs, I feel like that kind of stuff is going to come out, because that right there, if you say, well, look, you want this stuff for streaming, well, can we be honest with you? Yes, we make this money per subscriber per month, but like your show specifically doesn't really get viewed. Nobody really cares about it. It gets us no new subscribers. So are you actually earning us money? You're not. And you want residuals for that? You want more money than just the base that we have to pay you to make the thing? And so much, you think of where we are in the world right now, it is so much streaming. It is so much of that. There's so much fluff. And by the way, again, a lot of it is just not good quality. Now, some of it is. Like, I want to make that known. I'm sure I'm going to get people that say, well, Alex, there is some cool, smaller stuff, under the radar stuff that maybe even I haven't seen. I get that. I don't think that's most of it, though. I think most of it's bad. Most of it kind of needs a hard reset. And maybe that would help these under the radar things. Maybe something needs to change with that as well. So, again, hard to truly care. I take kind of joy in watching the whole thing explode, but hopefully this kind of sorts out, because ultimately, I'll tell you this, ultimately what I want is people that put in work, but ultimately probably good work, to get rewarded, and I, as a selfish consumer, want things to consume. Okay, I mean, that at the end of the day, so yes, like, we're not getting TV shows, we're not getting movies, we're not getting all this stuff because of all these strikes. That is annoying to a degree, because like, I do want entertainment. Thank God I do gaming. Now, if gaming ever did something like this, we'd probably have a pretty serious issue. But I do hope it gets resolved, and I hope more than anything, again, people that deserve the money, people that are hardworking and put in the work, they will get rewarded and they'll get what they're owed. But then also me as a consumer, hopefully, because of what probably has to be a hard reset with actors, with writers, the directors did their whole agreement thing, so I guess not them, but hopefully this means better quality. That's what matters to me, better quality, because where we're at right now, not really good quality. Where we want to be in, say, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, hopefully is better quality than this. So, ultimately, if it needs a hard reset, it's going to get one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to check out all the links in the description for all my other stuff. Subscribe, bell icon, all that jazz, and I hope to see you all on the next one.